our 7th grade winter band concert. I personally am just really pleased that the weather cooperated today and we didn't have a repeat of last week, because I was a little stressed out about this concert. But fortunately, Minnesota was kind, and it's so good to have you here again for another in-person performance. Tonight, you are in for a real treat. Both of these 7th grade bands have come so far since we last performed for you in November, and we are just very excited to share our learning, the concepts we've been practicing in class, and some really good music. So to start with, I'm going to move out of the way, and hopefully I don't set off the speakers, so you can see our Viking band. This is a group that rehearses on cycle days 1 and 3, which means that the last time they practiced together was on Friday. So to get our brains and our instruments and our fingers and our arms back in focus, we are going to begin by doing a series of warm-up exercises. And so the first thing you'll hear from our group is 4 different exercises that are all based on a scale, our B5 major scale, which has been a huge learning target for us lately. So without further ado, we are going to begin with the Viking band warm-up. September all the way back to November. But boy, have these students come a long, long way since the fall. And it's all from the hard work that they put in class each week, which is really, really rewarding for us to see tonight. Now I have to look at my notes for the next song because I don't want to leave out some important details. Our second selection is called The Distant Castle. And this piece was composed by a very important band composer named James Swearingen. Now, Mr. Swearingen was inspired by a castle in Japan called Matsumoto Castle. And this castle was built in the year 1504. So as we perform this piece, we're thinking about distance, the distant castle far away in Japan, but also in the distant past. And some of the ways that our music helps to represent that is by this beautiful flute melody we'll hear at the beginning of the piece. You'll hear some interesting instruments in our percussion section, including tom drums and xylophone and wind chimes. And you'll also hear a very bold melody from our trumpet section that might be signaling a call to arms or a be on alert. This has been a lot of fun to put together, and we're excited to share it with you. Please enjoy The Distant Castle. that you should probably watch out in the percussion section. See if they catch you off guard with their little jester pranks. We hope that you enjoy our final selection before our intermission. This is Jester Dance by McLeod Rogers. They are equal in size, with roughly the same instruments. It's just that they meet on opposite days. Okay? We work on the same concepts, so you'll hear a little overlap with our warm-up, but we also work on different music to make things interesting, both for the students and for you as audience members. Our Cardinal Band actually had class today, but even so, it has been several hours since those instruments have been played. So we will also begin with a short warm-up based on our B-flat major scale. a great way for them to open their portion of the concert. It's got brass moments, it has suspended cymbal and gong, and all kinds of loud and energetic musical sounds that we think would be a great way to welcome you into our portion of the concert. This is the Procession of Heroes. So all of those together have made this a fun challenge and an interesting backstory for another time. We hope that you enjoy the Squad Blues by Robert Buckley.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Derek Zimmer, and I direct the 8th grade bands here at Discovery Middle School. I want to welcome you to an awesome concert. The students have been working very, very hard to put a wonderful concert together for you this evening. So we're going to start out with our scale. A big part of 8th grade is we're learning on 7th graders are working on their B-flat major scale. Scales are a big part of what we do to warm up, but also they allow us to learn different songs and different keys. So we're going to do our F concert scale here for you. Just as a warm up, get to hear ourselves in the room. And then we get to our first piece. So here's our F concert scale. You can clap for them if you like. All right, now that we're warmed up, this is the concert band, the 8th grade concert band. So we meet on odd cycle days here in the second hour. And we're going to start out with a piece of music for you called The Forgotten Village. And every winter we do a piece of music that is considered to be programmatic. And what programmatic music is it's music that's meant to paint a picture or tell a story. Oftentimes it's about something historical or just some kind of image rather than just being, oh, well, that's really nice to listen to. So The Forgotten Village, your students can tell you more about it, but The Forgotten Village is a story about Portsmouth Village. It's a Civil War village in North Carolina, and it was occupied by the Northern Army and used as a military installation during the Civil War. And so this piece tells the story of this peaceful village, bustling fishing port town, and you'll hear the army march in and take over the village, and then you'll hear after the war is done, the army marches away, the village continues with what it normally does. And we talked a lot about how the composer uses different musical things to tell this story. So those are the kind of pieces you should hear. So this is Michael Orris and The Forgotten Village. All right, so while percussion is getting set for our next piece, we're going to change the mood a little bit. So in 8th grade, we started digging more into being able to play different styles of music and being able to really work on our sound. And in 8th grade, that sound really starts to change and starts to develop into a mature band sound. And so we're going to do a piece called Scottish Lullaby. We're going to get to hear a little bit of that as well. So much fun to slow it down a little bit and play something completely different. And now we're going to do that same thing again too. So we had a unique opportunity last week. Mr. Burtis and I switched spots with Mr. Skalbeck, who is our high school band director. Each of the 8th grade bands got the opportunity to work with him, which is really, really fun to do. And it's always fun to put a different conductor in front of students because it's fun to see how each director teaches a little bit differently and we can always gain more information. So we have a piece called Dark Matter by Nathan Daughtry. And I'd like to have Mr. Skalbeck, our high school band director, join us. Give him a warm welcome. I almost feel like we should have put an Olympic fanfare theme in there because we were passing the baton. But anyway. Yeah, you can give it like that. It's a dad joke. It's counting place for me. All right. So, while I get my scores. So, this is Cadet Band. So, concert band rehearses on odd cycle days. Cadet band rehearses the same time on the even cycle days. The next piece we're going to go into is their slow piece of music where we're working on good tone and again trying to put this picture in your head. This piece is Brian Balmage's Midnight Sky, and the goal of this piece is if you close your eyes and imagine what it would be like to be out of town looking at the midnight sky, what would you see? What stars and different things like that. So we hope you enjoy Midnight Sky. Before we get to Cadet Band's final piece here, I have some thank yous here I'd like to say. So I'd like to first start out by thanking our administration here at Discovery. We have a wonderful group of administrators they really support us day in and day out. And Matt Aker and Heather Tim really do a lot of work for us. And they're always willing to help when we come with ideas and things that we need for support. And so I want to give them a round of applause here for our administrators. We're very fortunate here as well to have a wonderful music faculty, and we all step in and help each other at our concerts. So I'd like to thank Michelle Robertus, who I work with daily, as well as Miss Sachs, Mr. Skalbeck at the high school, as well as Lisa Blevins. We all work really well together, and it's a wonderful place to have such wonderful music faculty. So let's give them a hand. And then I want to thank our parents, all of you, for coming tonight. This would not happen without you being there and supporting your kids and encouraging them to study music and making sure they practice their instruments every day, whether or not they want to or not. I hear some giggles. Uh-oh, we got some work to do, band. So making sure they get to rehearsals, they get here for the concert, they're wearing their concert black and doing their best. So thank you so much, parents. Students, can we clap for our parents? And then last but certainly not least, the students here make my job very, very fun. You guys work so very hard, so thank you so much for all of your work this year and in the years past. Can we give them a round of applause? All right, so a couple housekeeping things, and then we're going to get on to a really fiery piece, and you'll know what I mean when I say that here in a second. So a couple of housekeeping things. 8th grade percussionists, we have to get all the percussion back to the band room. Okay, so that's going to be your job. There are 20 of you, so you can handle that. The rest of us, we got to get stairs and chairs and stands. There we go. Put together and put on the stand rack. So parents, if a couple of you are able to help students, helping with that as well. The quicker we get that done, the quicker we can all get out of here and enjoy the rest of our evening. So last but not least, this piece is called Fires of Mazama. And we got to do a little bit of science and a little bit of history in this one. So about a couple thousand years ago, Mount Mazama was a volcano, it was a mountain. Now is present-day Crater Lake in Oregon. And about 7,000 years ago, this mountain exploded, erupted, and created this huge lake. And they say you can find the ash from the fires of Mount Mazama in the Pacific Ocean. You can find it as far as the middle of the country. So it was a big event. So you're going to hear a couple things in this piece. It's mixed meter, so you're going to hear some changes in meter. The middle section, I think you'll be able to know what's happening in this middle section, but the band gets to explore some different notes. They've got some different options of things they can do. So without further ado, this is Fires of Mazama.